I'd like to thank you, Dr. Arul, for that kind introduction. Thank AIOS and thank J&J for inviting me for this talk. Well, I have no financial disclosures. Let me start with this case. This was a 65-year-old gentleman who presented to the OPD with decreased vision in his left eye. He was a diabetic, hypertensive since 10 years, but was well controlled and was morbidly obese. His best corrected visual acuity was 6/18 N6 in the right eye and was 6/24 N12 in the left eye. His extraocular movements were full. There was no RAPD. He had significant cataract, more in the left eye than in the right eye. His fundus was normal through the lenticular haze, and we advised him a cataract surgery with Tecnis Eyhance, IOL. So on the Lenstar, we found that on the Hill RBF formula, that he needed around a 20.5 Tecnis Eyhance, and that is what we inserted. The surgery and post-op period was uneventful. Because of the COVID, the lockdown, he came for his checkup 2 months later, and he was smiling and beaming. His best corrected visual acuity in his left eye was unaided 6/6 N6. This is what the eye looked like. So how do we explain this vision? Is it because of the higher order aberrations and the Tecnis Eyhance lens? Well, let me just talk about the Tecnis Eyhance lens for now. This is based on a continuous higher order aspheric surface and is the next generation monofocal IOL, which is otherwise very similar to the Tecnis one piece in all its other geometry. The difference is on the anterior surface, which has a slightly more, which has a slightly increase in curvature, which results in a better depth of focus, despite it being a monofocal IOL, and gives us this little extra intermediate range. It is this intermediate range which improves the intermediate vision. It gives comparable distance vision to the Tecnis one piece. And since it has a continuous and smooth change of power, the photic phenomenon profile is similar to an aspheric monofocal IOL. There have been various studies comparing the Tecnis Eyhance with monofocal IOLs. This one was from the Dr. Grewal Eye Hospital in Chandigarh, where they looked at 116 eyes, in which 71 they had inserted the Eyhance and 45 they had inserted the Tecnis monofocal. They looked at the distance visual acuity, the intermediate visual acuity, and they plotted the monoocular defocus curve. The defocus curve of the Tecnis Eyhance was broader and had a larger landing zone as compared to the Tecnis monofocal. The visual acuity for distance was similar in both the Tecnis monofocal and the Tecnis Eyhance, but you can see here that it was significantly better unaided intermediate vision in the Tecnis Eyhance lens. Ansal et al. Looked at binocular Tecnis Eyhance insertion with binocular Tecnis monofocal intraocular lenses. They looked at 64 eyes of 32 patients. They measured the distance, the intermediate. They plotted the binocular defocus curve and also assessed the photic phenomenon and the spectacle independence. The Tecnis Eyhance provided significantly better intermediate vision than the monofocal IOL, both uncorrected and distance corrected. The defocus curve again had a slightly larger landing zone, and at 1.5, that's at the intermediate distance, there was a one line better visual acuity. They found that 84% of the patients were spectacle independent for intermediate vision. The contrast sensitivity of both the Tecnis Eyhance and the Tecnis monofocal were the same, and there was no significant difference in terms of the photic phenomenon, that is the glare and halo. This study by Fidel Vega et al. Was an in vitro study where they compared the 20 diopter Tecnis Eyhance lens with the Tecnis monofocal. So at the 2 millimeters, there was a slight increase in the halo, a little lesser in the 3, and between by 3.5 to 4, the halo was the same as a Tecnis monofocal. What did they conclude? They concluded that the halos were of similar values of energy on the optical bench correctly focused on the core region. the Tecnis Eyhance is more likely to induce a similar level of photic phenomenon, if any, as the Tecnis monofocal. So the halos were comparable as measured on the optical bend. When the modular transfer function curves were plotted, you could see that in a myope, in a 2 millimeter pupil, both the curves were slightly broader. This is because in small pupils, only the paraxial rays are used. The Tecnis Eyhance also had a myopic shift of around a 0.4 to 0.5 diopter. This is based on the larger negative spherical aberration, which increased the depth of focus. Well, what about visual acuity at far and intermediate? The Eyhance delivers pupil-independent performance that is similar to that of a Tecnis monofocal for distance vision. What about the effect of decentration? Well, the data on file does tell us that the Tecnis Eyhance has an equal tolerance to decentration for distance performance as the Tecnis monofocal IOL. Some clinical points. So what would you generally aim for? Well, it's good to aim for something like a plano to being a little myopic. This is because if you were to go with a little hyperopia, you would lose that intermediate vision. It can be used in all patients in whom a Tecnis monofocal can be used. It has an astigmatic landing zone of around 0.75, which is similar to a Tecnis monofocal. So my thoughts are that it's yes, become my first choice monofocal IOL. I have the same chair time. I don't need to explain too much extra to these patients, especially in patients where a multifocal is not advisable, where the contrast sensitivity is reduced, like patients of glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, and ARMD. The only eyes where I would be a little wary of using them is in patients who have a negative asphericity, like a keratoconus, or those who have had a hyperopic ablation. But over here also, we have to understand there is a slightly larger landing zone, so I just need to be a little careful. And obviously in patients with higher order aberrations where there could be dysphotopsias. The field of vision with progressives for intermediate is compromised. This is due to the hourglass pattern of the glasses. And this is where the Tecnis Eyhance would actually widen the field. I do use a bit of mini or mono, just a 0.25 to 0.5 mono vision. And I do feel that the spectacle dependency is lesser. Even if you were to aim for an emetropia, patients do feel more confident while walking, particularly while going downstairs or walking on an uneven surface, reading a computer, a smartphone, or a tablet, reading a price tag while they are shopping, or even cooking and eating. So, well, how do we refract these patients? Now, the refraction process in these patients is similar to that of a young phakic patient who has accommodation. You would want to prescribe a maximum plus or a minimum minus, since this maximizes both the distant and intermediate vision. The good old retinoscopy is more useful than the autorefractors because the autorefractors use the central part of the pupil to estimate refraction and would not be able to capture the continuous power progression of the enhanced IOL, monofocal IOL. How do these compare with the other IOLs? Well, in this study by Junnar et al., they compared the Tecnis Eyhance with the Acrosoft IQ. There are no studies comparing it with the Vivity still. So both the uncorrected and the distance-corrected intermediate visual acuity was significantly better in the Eyhance as compared to the Tecnis monofocal. With respect to the contrast performance, there was improved contrast, 31% as better in a Eyhance as compared to a Clarion, and even better with an XIOL. It's based on the same Tecnis platform, which has a minus 0.27 negative spherical aberration with low chromatic aberrations with a high Abbe number of 55, a refractive index of 1.47. It's not associated with glistenings. It has less capsular phimosis. It's available in powers of around 5 to 34, and the A constant is similar to that of Tecnis monofocal IOL. So, well, in conclusion, we do know that intermediate vision is the need of the hour in our current lifestyles with the laptop, the iPad, the smartphones. The Tecnis iHands is the next generation monofocal, and all monofocal patients can be upgraded to an iHands. The photic phenomenon is standard monofocal, so it can be a good choice even for night drivers. There is improved functional vision and improved patient satisfaction, which is achieved with the Tecnis iHands because of the reduced dependency from spectacles for intermediate vision.